So, I just heard that there was an update to Hypixel Skyblock, 0.18.5, so we're going to go ahead and check it out. Hello, Jerry. Hello, Mini Jerry. Let's check it out. Alright, patch 0.18.5, bug fixes, balancing, and bug fixes. So give me 1 second to quickly look at this, and that way I can recap it all pretty easily without taking too much of your time. Wow, that's all I gotta say. This is a really good update. So I think the best way to start this out is by reading the message that the devs put in for this. Before we read the dev note, I want to let you know that you can skip this if you go to the timestamps down below if you just want to see what was changed. Over the past several weeks, we've been closely observing the escalating inflation within Skyblock. The community has been actively engaging us, asking about our action plan and our general stance on the matter. First, let's note that the inflation seemed to reach its zenith around May 15th or 16th and is now showing signs of stabilization at a significantly lower level. It's crucial that we take our time to investigate such issues. Large groups of people tend to overreact, causing dramatic economic fluctuations. Despite this, the current trend indicates that the inflation will stabilize at a level substantially higher than it was before the Garden update. We recognize this issue and want to address it. One question that has come up is why we increase the NPC sell prices of garden crops. Before the Garden update, mining was the most lucrative skill in the game. We think that, ideally, all skills should compete for coin income to a certain degree. However, this competition doesn't mean equality at all progression stages. For instance, farming with its lower learning curve is expected to reach its income generation peak earlier than other skills. New players are encouraged to initially invest in farming to generate coins, and then later divert those funds into mining gear, which provides superior returns in the long run. Did we achieve our objective? Regrettably, no. Our calculations were erroneous, and we overshot the mark. Farming currently outclasses mining and other income generation methods for too long during the game progression. Moreover, our decision to dramatically increase the NPC sell prices all at once rather than gradually was misguided. This sudden urge not only exceeded our intended goal, but also incited an overreaction that led to the prices soaring for several days. We apologize for this oversight. Following this incident, we identified 4 main causes behind the recent inflation. 1. The sudden surge in NPC sell prices of the garden crops. 2. Garden content distracting players from coin sinks, aka generating coins in the economy rather than spending coins. 3. Decrease in specific RNG drops or valuable items due to fewer players doing those activities at the time, thereby lowering the supply. And 4. RNG meter bug fix, causing an increase in prices of certain dungeon items. In response to these issues, we're implementing 3 major balancing changes today. First of all, we're reducing the NPC sell prices of the most problematic garden crops. Carrot goes from 4 coins to 3 coins. Wort goes from 5 to 4. Potato 4 to 3, and sugarcane 5 to 4. While we believe that farming should be the best early game method for generating coins in Skyblock, its current strength needs to be rebalanced. These specific crop adjustments should bring farming closer to its intended power level. We will be monitoring coins earned from farming following this to see if more changes are needed. 2. We are modifying the weights and chest costs of a few dungeon drops. Now there's a lot here. I'm not going to go over all of it, but I will go over it in a minute once we go over all of the changes. Our goal is to ensure that as we roll out more updates, the time required to complete Skyblock doesn't extend indefinitely. By making these items more accessible, we're making the game slightly easier to complete, thereby saving valuable time. This is particularly true for recombobulators, as each new accessory we add to the game increases the total number of these items you need. Now is a great time to make these more obtainable. As for the chest price changes, they were overdue. What once seemed like a large sum at the release of Floor 7, 35 million, no longer does. Dropping any of those items will still be a massive profit, and even for Iron Man players, obtaining 100 million now is much easier than it was back then. And lastly, We're increasing the bin auction listing fees. Until now, bin auction listing fees have always been 1%, no matter the cost of the item, whereas the regular auction listing fees have been 5%. It makes sense that the bin fees are lower than the auction fees, as they technically already target the final price. However, we feel like 1% is too small. From now on, those are the new bin auction listing fees. 1% if it's under 10 million coins, 2% if it's under 100 million coins, and 2.5% if it's over 100 million coins. We anticipate that these changes will have a notable impact on the global economy, and overall will significantly benefit the game. Rest assured, we will continue to monitor inflation following these changes, as we believe they're a step in the right direction. Alright, so now we're on to the changes that they made, the exact changes that they made, which is a lot more than they mentioned in the dev notes. First of all, with Abiphone, they increased the contact trio limit, they added more NPCs as contacts, and they modified some of the Abiphone contact difficulties. With menus and inventories, there's a few things that are important here. First of all, they added an upgrade to increase players' max pets in the pet menu. Previously, this was 100, and I'm not sure if it's known yet what it is right now. When swapping pet items, there's now a confirmation menu. Several of the Romero and Juliet quest items have improved lore descriptions. You can now toggle the setting of consuming baits from your fishing bag. You can no longer open the Reaper Scythe menu while fighting the Lord Gloom Seraph. For balance changes, a pocket sack and a sack can now be used up to 3 times on the same sack. Healing 8 can now bypass the limit on dungeons. The clayball fishing rate at Fisherman's Hut is now increased. Each of the katana's Enderman damage bonus has been increased by 50%. And economy-related changes, we went over the NPC sell prices before, but I'll go over them again for anybody who skipped to this part. Carrot, netherwort, potato, and sugarcane have all been decreased by 1 coin. Now for the dungeon changes. They've heavily increased the drop rates of Recombobulator 3000s on most floors. They've increased the drop rate and price of Necron's Handle and its constituent scrolls. They've increased the price of Dark Claymore. And again, mentioned earlier, I will rephrase it for anybody who skipped to this part. Bin auction listing fees have been changed. For items under 10 million coins, it is 1%. For items under 100 million, it is 2%. And for items over 100 million, it is 2.5%. With other changes, they've added trophy fishing sacks, bronze and silver fishing sacks. They've added more dialogue, and they've added many more items to the museum. Bug fixes. Fixed certain pets getting deleted if attempting to upgrade to an unobtainable tier. Fixed rock pet giving too much defense if clicked multiple times. And fixed unequipping the bat pet removing the night vision effect. Garden and farming. Fixed garden quest softlock if a player leaves with the tutorial compost counting down. Fixed basket of seeds planting melons and pumpkins on non-soil blocks. Fixed crops not growing until rejoining if originally placed on dry soil that later became moist. Fixed mushrooms deleting blocks in the world in their ever-growing conquest. Fixed mushrooms occasionally growing on top of blocks that they shouldn't. Fixed previous sugarcane grieving the plot when changing presets. And other fixes. Fixed /effects loading a blank menu. Fixed being able to salvage museum soulbound items. Fixed Shadow Fury not activating on Sven Slayer mobs. Fixed putting a rune into a personal deleter, deleting all types of runes. Fixed skill menus displaying the wrong maximum level in the next page icon. Fixed Devon Drill not counting previous drill item tiers in the museum. Fixed Gusher Trophy Fish being unobtainable. Fixed Sludge Juice not being put into sacks when dropped with a jungle pickaxe. Fixed Master Tao forgetting that he met you. And lastly, improved Crimson Isle performance. There's a lot in this post, but to sum it all up, it's a really good update. I'll leave the link to the patch notes in the description so you can go check it out for yourself, but I very much appreciate this patch. Hopefully with these changes, we'll see some decrease in the price and decrease in the inflation problems that have been in the game recently. But that's it. That's the update. I'll catch you guys in the next one. See you.